Assalamu alaikum wa rahmatullahi wa barakatuh. Now, being a Muslim therapist, it's not walking the park. Practicing Islamic psychology, psychotherapy is beautiful as it sounds or seemed to be, is actually quite draining, and we don't talk about it quite often, do we, as a therapist? Um, and I've been on a journey of reflection. I've been on a journey of taking myself to muraqabah, to the process of searching for, Ihsan, the level of excellence, and with the process of niyyah, searching and checking with myself the intentions, just to find out why is it that I do what I do. And one of the things that I was taking into consideration was feedback that comes across. And I wasn't just sitting with them to boost my ego, quite far from it. I wanted to understand, I wanted to see the pattern, I wanted to understand how is it, why is it that my clients keep on coming back to me? And despite the fact that they're being challenged, um, despite the fact that it takes some time, they sending me those feedbacks years later after our therapy, telling me how much their life has changed, how grateful they are. And truly, there are those messages, and some of them are on my social media, including my uh, Google My Business page. Please go and check for yourself. And I hope you will feel it what I do. Those messages, those feedbacks, they are truly filled with gratitude, hamd, and look for the sake of Allah. And I have no doubts that me, myself, and other Muslim therapists or faith-based therapists, they are in this unique, almost sacred position when we receive clients, but also we just tools, it is from him that he decided that this is not only my opinion. I know that some of you think that way as well, that those clients, they need something, and you have certain amount of skills and knowledge, and certain amount of niyyah and ihsan to offer. So I was thinking about that. I was contemplating about all those messages, and I said to myself, what is it about those clients of mine to make them keep on coming back to me? What is it that they get from our space, our counseling space, being group coaching, being one-to-one counseling, being the online programs that I offer? What is it about it that is so unique? How is it different to what they get from outside? In other words, what is it that they don't get out from outside world and their relationship that they get from here, from this space, from this practitioner? And then on one of my coaching groups, when we're going through tafsir from the psychology of Quran, by the way, you're all invited. Just ask me how to get there. We were discussing the phenomenon of Mecca and Medina, the fluidity of moving in between, and then it hit me. And then it hit me. So my process of muraqabah stopped there. Meaning, I realized that it's all about Mecca Effect. And what is Mecca Effect? Just let me explain. Just give me a second. So you see, we have to go back to how Islam was revealed. Islam was revealed throughout the process of 20 plus years. And for first 13 years, they were living in Mecca. And that period of them re-establishing themselves as believers, leaving behind old processes of thinking and worshipping and being and lifestyle, and even how they express themselves and carry themselves in relationships. And foremost, in relationship with Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala was completely different to the period in Medina. In Medina, it was all go, go, go. In Medina, they moved to Medina after 13 years of being in Mecca to find new selves. And those new selves, they were following obviously revelations, but those revelations, they were somehow different. They were about rules and regulations, black and white, and it was about um, punishment and reward, and rules and regulations, and they were all set up that way, not from the perspective of institution, because there's no such a thing as an authority in Islam until today, plus minus. But they were all established, they were all sent down to the Prophet ﷺ for those people who were ready. Were ready for what? Were ready with what? So they get themselves to the point in Mecca when they knew who they were, when they knew their God, when they knew their limitations, whereby they left behind the particles of themselves which were not so strong, and those which they never made them proud of themselves. They never could get them far in life. They got themselves to the point when they were authentic in front of themselves and in front of their Lord. And they were strong in their morals, ethic, beliefs, and psycho-spiritual experiences, right? Things had happened in Mecca, like Miraj had happened. Wow, you really have to have certain level of faith to say, this is my prophet, whatever he says. So they were fully confident, meaning what they felt, what they thought was exactly what they were doing. And then they were ready to go into Medina and put those things into perspectives. And unfortunately, those perspectives, until today, and I probably was very affected by it as a Muslim, because I came from Medina to Mecca after Shahada. Everything that I fantasized about Islam, everything that I felt about Islam was completely silenced by my experience in this community and by my experience of how the outside world was not really accepting me, not really seeing me, not really hearing me, not really appreciating me. And I was so proud because I really worked hard on my Mecca. So what I'm trying to say is that Medina is over publicized. Orientalist historians, politicians, even academics, uh, they they gave themselves permission to say to us, talk about us, talk down to us about what Islam is, what isn't, and and that without a doubt would be confusion, but also void for Mecca within us. Because Mecca symbolizes much more than just rules and regulation. It symbolizes who we are. It brings subconscious to conscious. It connects us with our spiritual identity. It is not putting us in the position of worshipper who is doing their religion, but worshipper who is feeling, who is being it. So Mecca, lay in the layman terminology, it is basically who you are. And Medina was there in a layman person. It was then necessary for that you who went through your Mecca, it was a necessary process for you to enhance and evaluate your Mecca, protect your Mecca, because otherwise, in unsafe environments, you cannot blossom. And living on the West, we are not blossoming. We are still Medina. We believe that Islam is all about Medina. It's not. So you see, through this process of muraqabah, this process of taking myself into contemplation, into accountability, checking with my Ihsan and Mia, I came to understand that this is exactly it. This is why my clients, they appreciate the space. Really, it's not about me, really about techniques that I use, probably about him sending me those clients. And to all my clients, if you know who you are, I'm really grateful for every single second and every single minute that we spend together. I'm just a tool. It was so interesting to me is that we don't talk about it enough. in our profession. So, the message that I want to put across to all those practitioners who find modernness that they can relate to is that it doesn't have to be that way. This is why I lovingly created and prepared a guiding heart workshop and weekend online workshop for Muslim coaches, practitioners, or faith-based practitioners who work with Muslims who want to understand first and foremost what's going on for them, how to strengthen themselves through the lens of Islamic psychology, processes of what I call Mecca symbolism, meaning, your authenticity, your congruence, your sakina in your heart. So they can offer that back to their clients. So this is what this weekend is about. And it is about you understanding how to implement those theories, which I write widely about in my book, Islamically inspired self-development, and I'm giving it for free to all participants in this beautiful course, Guiding Hearts. This course is different. This course is based on case studies, and this course is delivered from the heart of reflecting practitioner to the heart of reflecting practitioners. And if that's you, I hope you understand you cannot miss this opportunity. And I pray on the scene out there for the link below. And inshallah, let's make it happen. Assalamu alaikum. Thank you for listening.